Hello, welcome to another boxing predictions video. This is Gennady Golovkin versus Lemuix. So next Saturday, there's a big middleweight title match, unification fight between fellow knockout artists Gennady Golovkin and Lemuix. This is for the WBA, IBF, IBO and WBC interim middleweight title belts. So obviously many people do know Gennady Golovkin now as is a sort of one of the bigger names in boxing at his current point. He's undefeated as a professional, 33 wins, 30 knockouts. I think his last 20 fights all been by knockout, and he's slowly gone through the middle division, knocking out every single contender for his titles. As I say, he's now fighting David Lemuix, who's the IBF middleweight title holder. He himself is a fellow knockout artist with 31 wins from 31 knockouts from 34 wins. He is not undefeated. He has lost a couple of fights, but this will be an interesting fight because they're both knockout artists. My prediction for the fight is Gennady Golovkin's going to win this fight by knockout, only because I don't really see how. I mean, I've really watched David Lemuix to be honest. I've seen him a couple of times, like in sort of highlights. Obviously, I know he's got great power, and he did win the world title in his last fight. But I don't see how anyone's going to stop Gennady Golovkin at the minute. It's probably a bit biased because obviously a lot of people do favour him in a minute, but he's on a tremendous knockout streak. So to just go from 20 straight knockouts and to fight someone who is probably a bit better than he's fighting people at the minute and just stopping, I don't see that could happen because Lemuix is a knockout artist as well. He's not going to just stand there and try to outbox him because it's not going to work. Golovkin can take a good shot as well. I've just seen that against Daniel Gill. As many people do remember, he knocked out Daniel Gill last year when Daniel Gill hit him with a flush. I think it was right hand to the head. Golovkin took it in his stride and then come back with a huge fellow right hand himself and just flattened the Gill. But yeah, so this fight was at middleweight, obviously limit. It's a huge fight, a lot of titles on the line. If Golovkin wins, which he should do, I think he probably will fight the winner of the Canelo Alvarez fight, which is next month. That is for the WBC and Ring Magazine middleweight titles. So if that fight can get made, either the winner of obviously Alvarez Cotto can fight the winner of obviously Lemuix Golovkin, that'd be a huge fight. I do think Alvarez will win that fight. I did make another video of that a while ago, so you can check it out as well. That's like, I think it's quite my way down now, but it's still on my channel. For Lemuix to win this fight, I think he's just got to go in there and just give it his all. Don't be sort of gun shy, as like a lot of fighters I've seen have really big reputations, and when they go into a big fight, they just leaves them. So I think Lemuix's got to go in there and just sort of throw whatever he can, and hopefully gets lucky and sort of maybe obviously gets a shock. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously Golovkin is undefeated. He hasn't fought great people. He's fought like obviously a handful of good fighters, but not sort of like elite fighters. So obviously the question is, can he handle a huge shot? And he has been hit a couple of times big, and he is hittable. I've seen it quite a lot, but obviously he hasn't been hit sort of really like Golovkin sort of style power shot yet. So if Lemuix can hit him hard and hit him over maybe a sustained amount of rounds, maybe the early parts, he's got a chance. But if Golovkin just does his normal sort of routine, going in there, picking holes in the opponent, and then obviously grinding out the opponent and just bringing on his sort of power instantly. Because Golovkin, in my mind, every time I've seen him fight, every shot he throws, even if it doesn't look hard, is hard, obviously, on his opponent. Like Matthew Macklin, obviously, fellow British fighter, he's quite powerful with his punches. And every single time you saw Golovkin hit him, you just get him, like he's taking a part of his sort of body with him, like just taking chunks out of him. So if Golovkin does hit Lemuix hard, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Lemuix went down quite early. He is quite tough, but there's a lot of fighters recently who are quite tough, like Martin Murray. Probably give Golovkin's toughest fight to date, with 11 rounds out of 12. But obviously he's beating that fight, a proper pounding. But obviously sometimes you do have to, it does take a while. But if Lemuix is coming in there to obviously knock him out as well, Golovkin's trying to do the same as well. I could be wrong, this could be a different fight, but I highly doubt it. If they're both obviously trying to do both the same sort of thing, I don't see how it's going to sort of last long. I do favour Golovkin over Lemuix because he's on a huge knockout streak. But it's going to be a great fight, I can't wait to watch it. It'll be a really interesting fight. A lot of world titles on the line. I'm not sure if Golovkin will hold on to all the belts, but because he's got the WBC interim belt, that obviously does pave the way for the WBC title holder, which of course is Mangakoto at the minute. But if he does win that fight, I don't see Mangakoto fight Golovkin just simply the fact that he's too dangerous, and Golovkin is obviously on a huge knockout streak. Mangakoto is 34 years old now, so I don't think he wants to fight someone as dangerous as Golovkin, as he's been in loads of wars. Obviously, others on the other side, other sort of side. You never know, he might move him on to fight Golovkin, as I said before, he's a dangerous fighter. But that would be a huge fight for both fighters, as they both bring a lot to the table. They're both really popular, both exciting fighters, both got tremendous power, and that'd be a great fight. If that fight does get made, that'd be a WBC, Running Magazine, WBA, IBF, IBO and WBC interim belts on the line. That'd be a huge fight for boxing. Obviously in the middleweight division, one of the bigger fights, probably the biggest fight. I don't think it'll be made this year, obviously, because obviously it's October now. I think it'll be made probably early next year. That'd be a huge fight. Probably in May, as a lot of fights have been huge fights have been made in around the May that month of the year. But time will tell. You never know. Golovkin's got to get past Lemuix first. If he does that, obviously huge fights on the horizon. Saying that, if Lemuix wins, I still think it'll be the same route for him. I think he'll go ahead and fight the winner of Cotto Alvarez, but who knows, he might fight someone different. This has been my Gennady Golovkin, David Lemuix fight predictions video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next video.